So we're here with Aaron Gamble. We're down in North Bethesda, Dilldinkers. This is a beautiful facility.
Yes.
Did it used to be a rock climbing facility, or was this just a do you know offhand?
I do not. You know, I'm familiar with the area, but not in the cut right here.
Okay. Well, we had some great games this morning. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Yes.
We're really excited to talk.
And thanks for playing with us this morning. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had a great morning.
Amazing drill session at 7 a.m.
Yes.
and then 2 hours of play. So solid morning so far.
I want to do that more often.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. So obviously you play pickleball.
Yes.
But we would love to hear more about your fitness journey and your fitness background leading into pickleball, because that plays a major role in what you do.
100%.
You're obviously a huge community builder. Anybody that is not following you on social media should be doing so immediately.
Yes.
You're positive all the time. I mean, it's an amazing energy that you bring in all your reels, everything that you're posting. And then it translates directly to you as a human being when you're in person. So
Awesome.
The energy is so positive.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we'd love to hear how that fitness journey started.
Okay.
You know, where you came from, background, and where you're going.
I would say the fitness journey on a professional level started at 18. My senior year of high school, I was pretty much done with school. So I had almost all my credits. It was my 4th year, but I did not feel like being in school all day long since I only needed a few credits. So I gave the school and my parents an ultimatum that I needed a half day.
Okay.
And they told me that I could do that only if I found a job. They said you could do like a work study or work release program. So I found a job. I went to Prince George's County High Schools, graduated from High Point, and that's in Beltsville. I found a job at Prince George's Plaza Mall, working at Sam Goody. So anybody that's been around long enough remembers that was the music stores,
Yep.
Sam Goody. I did that the full extent of my senior year. That summer, I was done with Sam Goody and wanted a different job, and that was my first opportunity to work in the fitness industry. In 2001, I started working at Bally's and did membership sales. So not a trainer, but I was selling the fitness lifestyle.
Okay.
And I became more committed to the lifestyle, you know, because I never wanted to be a hypocrite. So I believed if I was going to sell something, I needed to live it. And that led to me meeting a lot of people, but it also led to me meeting the mother of my daughter currently. So I became a dad at a young age, 19, and then I went back to school and got my bachelor's in 3 years full-time. My degree is in hospitality management.
Okay.
I also have an associate's in culinary arts, and I got into the nightlife industry not too far after that, because I learned in school that the money is in beverages and alcohol. So I did that for a few years, and I was able to buy my house my first year into it
Wow.
at 22.
That's
There's
amazing.
a lot of money in alcohol. You know, all the wrong things, there seemed to be the money.
Right.
But ironically, my next door neighbor was a pastor, and he used to invite us to church all the time, me and my girlfriend at the time. And being in the nightlife, I just didn't wake up on Sunday mornings in time for church. But a few years into the nightlife industry, my girlfriend at the time, she suggested that we try to find a church. And when we did, I rededicated my life back to Christ, and I'm still in the nightlife because I always connected it to my degree. Oh, this is hospitality. I'm just helping people have a good time. There's money. And God just convicted me, and I just needed a break to get out of it. Wasn't sure what to do. And I just decided to just take care of myself. And I said, if I take better care of myself, maybe I'll hear more directly from God. And I ended up working with an integrative doctor, stopped drinking, lost 40 pounds in 3 months.
Wow.
Wow.
Wasn't sure what to do with my life, but I was like, the training will allow me to be flexible if I find a different avenue. And wasn't sure that I wanted to stay in the fitness industry, but it just kept blowing up and growing in front of me. I was trying to get out of it because I felt like it was unstable, and God just kept making it stable, and it's made me a stronger believer, a person that has stronger faith. And now, it sounds cliche, but I'm a huge believer that health is your wealth. You know?
I don't think that sounds cliche.
Yeah, I don't. Not at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we both believe that.
Yeah, you know, so it's like, I just keep coming back to this strong conviction. And not just physically, but being healthy from a holistic perspective to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I needed to get my body right and my mind right based on what I ate and drank and my sleep habits. But for me, one of the number one things was to try to reestablish healthy relationships. You know, I've always been a nice person, a caring person, but I think it's our instinct to be in survival mode and just care about our needs first. And I had to become a person that's very sensitive to me, that just actually really started caring about other people in hopes that they would care about me. And I kind of lead that way. I mean, I still take care of myself, but I lead in a way where I'm always willing to just let anybody have what they want over what I need first, and hopefully just convert people to be a more loving individual by that, you know? So that's my dynamic.
I know, that's amazing. I mean, and like I said earlier, it shows wholeheartedly. You definitely practice what you preach, which is a wonderful thing to see in any individual.
Yes.
And I mean, even on the courts, like you're highly competitive, but man, I mean, you radiate a good vibe all the time. All the time. It's great.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I
it's
agree with
wonderful.
that.
Thank you.
And I mean, even like when we were playing, just like you said, composure. I
Right.
mean, you're just a nice, even-keeled player,
Right.
and I like that in competitive individuals because I love being highly competitive. I love pushing myself, like both of us do, pushing ourselves as hard as we can.
Yes.
But with that dynamic, sometimes comes that aggressive nature can spill out
Yes.
onto others, right?
Yes.
So you really have to have a nice balance where you can be an aggressive individual competitively with yourself
Yes.
while still spilling out goodness to others. So
Yes.
you definitely embody that
Thank
whole
you.
spirit.
It means a lot.
And I love how you don't compartmentalize the different aspects that you focus on. I watched one of your videos, I think it was yesterday, talking about the spiritual awareness of
Yes.
yourself, and just now you're talking about what you're consuming, like whether it's your drinks or your food,
Yes.
and then your physical body and the mental health. I like how you include all of those aspects of the
Yes.
self
Yes.
rather than compartmentalizing each value.
Yeah, it's not sustainable to do that when everything is one. You know?
Yeah, because everything that you put into your body is directly impacting everything else.
Yes.
I mean, directly. I
Even your mood.
absolutely. Yeah, if you're eating like garbage, you're not going to feel good.
Exactly.
You're not going to feel good. If you're not hydrating properly, you're not
Yes.
going to feel good.
Yes.
So, no, that's amazing. So, you went on this huge fitness journey
Yes.
from a young age. So, you told us you don't have a tennis background, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, what got you into pickleball then? Because
So-
I don't have a racket background.
Yes.
I like to play like backyard badminton when I was a kid. You know,
Yes.
that was about the extent
Yes.
of mine, but I never played tennis or anything like that. So I'm curious why you saw a sport like pickleball and decided to pick it up.
So the last gym, I have my own training studio now, but the last gym I worked at was called Bethesda Sport and Health. It's now Bethesda One Life. And it's not just a gym. It's a gym that has squash courts, racquetball courts, tennis courts, and now it has pickleball courts. But I'm a believer to sustain healthy levels of fitness. You can't just live in a gym. You have to find something you love to do
Yep.
outside the gym,
We were just talking about
and then
that.
use the gym to help fuel that
Yeah,
passion
to
that
be
you
your
have.
best at that
Yes,
activity.
exactly.
Yep.
Otherwise, like the gym, for 99% of people, is gonna just suck at some point. But if it helps you do what you love to do outside the gym,
Right.
then you'll hold on to it.
Yep.
You know? So I'm a big believer in all my clients picking up a sport or an activity outside. And one of my clients said, Aaron, you should play pickleball. And you know, they told me this before the pandemic, but my schedule was so crazy that I just didn't have time. And the pandemic made my schedule a lot more efficient because I didn't have to travel to people anymore. I was able to do everything virtually. So thank you, virtuality, and pandemic in some ways, because I was anti-virtual, and it's made my life a
It
lot
does
easier.
save a lot of time.
Yes. So very grateful for that, and I decided to type in Google indoor pickleball courts near me, and it led me to the Jane Lawton Center in downtown Bethesda, which is a recreation center. And I believe that that is pickleball, but I've also evolved to believe that it's playing on a gymnasium floor is not the optimal level of pickleball,
Right.
you know? But I didn't know any better at that time, and I would still play to build community. I would find myself playing now if I needed to. But it was very interesting and humbling when I transitioned into hard courts and being outside, because you have the elements, you have the sun, you have the wind, you have higher level players, and now I am in it to win it, and hopefully one day I will be a senior pro pickleball player.
That's
So,
amazing.
It was a game time.
That is amazing.
That's great.
Yes.
And then what type of pickleball community have you found since you've become more competitive and more serious? You said that it's transitioned a little bit from the gym floor
Yes.
to the hard courts and outdoors.
So I would say that I am the founder of Pickleball Performance and Wellness. We're located in downtown Bethesda, and I rent space from the old gym that I used to work for,
Okay.
which is
Wow.
now Bethesda One Life. Thanks to Bethesda One Life, special shout out for allowing me to be a vendor and build community there and putting nets and lines in on the rooftop tennis courts. So both courts are blended. We have the basketball gymnasium courts for the weather when it's not good, and then we have the outdoor rooftop courts when the weather is great. We can get up to 8 courts, and I would say my community is my home base, but I would say that it's hard as you keep moving up to play down and then have to be in these intense battles where you have to play up. So I think until you find that balance, which I've been able to find now, but it's been challenging. I play here at Dill Dinkers mostly,
Okay.
because it's just a committed community, my 4 or 5 plus group here, where I can guarantee that I'm going to get the games that I need to evolve. And then when I'm in my community, I've developed a lot of coaches, and I can usually drill really well with my coaches. And I'm here to encourage my community to continue to grow. We have a strong intermediate community, which was pretty much a pure beginner community, and now everybody has graduated to strong intermediates. We need more beginners, so if you want to learn, come see us. And those who are advanced, they've moved on to different areas where they can find these same communities that I'm in right now, but they're all these subset groups at a higher level. But whenever I host money pots, when there's money on the line, I'm always able to get the good players to come back to Bethesda One Life and play on the rooftop. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
And you said you have 8 courts on the rooftop?
8 courts on the rooftop. 4 tennis courts and 8 pickleball courts it can transition into.
Awesome.
That sounds
Yes.
great. Can't wait till the weather warms up and
Yeah,
we
we'll
can
be
check
there.
that out.
Yes, yes. Just bring your money. Bring your money.
Okay.
So you mentioned that prior to the pandemic, you were kind of anti-tech.
Yes,
or,
definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. You can say it just like that.
Okay, so anti-tech. So,
Everything was in person.
yeah, so this is something that we've discussed because my background is in tech, but I'm not used to being in front of the camera. I'm
Yeah.
always behind the camera. And that was my safe spot. Like I like viewing life through a camera,
Yeah.
and then so I'm naturally introverted, so it takes a lot for me to get outside of my comfort zone and be in front of the camera. So how did you see that transition happen with you?
Well, I can't mention names,
Okay.
but I have a client that was really high up in national security. And they told me before the pandemic happened, as things were brewing, COVID was already in China. I guess they were aware that it was going to come here and it would shut the whole world down. And because they wanted to sustain our professional relationship, me as their trainer, they said before anything shut down, you need to learn how to work with me virtually. And I said, why? And they said, because everything is going to shut down. And I said, if anything shuts down, I'll just take a couple of weeks off and I'll be okay. They said, you don't get it. When I say everything's going to shut down, at least 12 to 18 months up to 36 months. And I said, I couldn't imagine anything shutting down. They said, well, if you don't want to lose a client, you're going to learn to work with me virtually. So I learned to do virtual training with that person because they said, we don't want to see you lose your business. And then like a few weeks later, everything shut down. And I was so grateful and humbled to have already pivoted and be in position where I did not lose my business. And it was an easy transition, for especially the clients who I trained at their homes, because they were already on board to transition to virtual. They basically would set up their computers or their phones and basically just pretend that I was there.
Right,
you know?
right.
You know, for people that I trained at the gym, it was a different situation, because they had to either get equipment or just get used to adapting to the virtual. But everybody else who already had a home gym, simple transition. And then I kind of got used to it. It was like I was able to have a full schedule without driving. I had more time to myself. And like most people, I was able to actually work remotely and not just be here in the metro area, you know. I actually did a lot of traveling during the pandemic and set up shop and adapted to the different time zones.
Yep.
You know? So very, very grateful. And now I feel behind, in general, still from a tech perspective, because I was so anti-tech. I feel like one of those people that would have been the last person on a horse and not bought into the car.
Right.
But it's like your life just becomes harder at a certain point.
Right.
You know, it's nice to stay connected to your horse.
Sometimes you just have to embrace the change and just go with it.
Now I just feel like I don't know if any business can live without technology.
Right.
Right.
And now I'm just trying to catch up, and I'm trying to do it in a way that's authentic, because I don't really know that much. I still haven't taken that much time to learn a lot about social media. So I'm just leading with my heart right now until I meet people and more time opens up for me to evolve into this next phase of humanity.
So now that we're past that stage where you had to be virtual, how do you allocate with your business? How do you allocate your time between virtual and being in person? Because now it's your choice.
I would say I definitely don't travel to anyone anymore. So that still makes my time very efficient. And I still have people that want to do virtual, even some locals who just, their time has just become even more valuable, and even a 7-minute commute to me and 7 minutes back is too much for them. So they have a gym in their home, so they're just like, hey, I'm going to do virtual. If I see them in person, it's a special gift. And then I have people that are always traveling the world, and they just want to stay connected with their fitness routine and the relationship that we have. And now I'm just trying to figure out, I've built a team of trainers, I've built a team of pickleball coaches, amazing people, very talented people. But I think the hardest part in these industries is not just knowing how to coach, not just knowing how to train, but how do you build a clientele, how do you build a community? And I have found myself trying to work harder because I'm always full. My schedule's always full, but how can I fill everyone else's schedule up? You know?
Right.
So I'm trying to learn how to do that. And I'm just taking the journey. I'm probably the most extroverted out of all my coaches and trainers. And we're just seeing where it goes, you know?
Are the two businesses combined, the pickleball coaches and the personal trainers? Are they connected? Not. It's two separate entities.
Two separate entities, but this year I will be going through a rebranding and just consolidating everything. So the people that know us on a pickleball level will have no choice but to know us on a fitness level. Okay. And the people that know us on a fitness level will have no choice but to know us on a pickleball level. The websites will be fused, the branding will be fused, and they will, you know, feed each other. Because again, I'm really into encouraging people to play a sport. So if I meet new clients and they don't have a sport, pickleball will be at the top of the list.
Right.
You know?
And it gives them a reason to work hard in the gym.
Exactly. So
that makes sense.
yes.
Is there any pushback with that, or are people excited to go to the other side of the business?
I think no pushback. I just think, building a brand is challenging.
Absolutely.
Rebranding is challenging. And this is all new for me because I have been the brand. And these other businesses have not been me per se, There's Beyond Belief Health and Wellness, and there's Pickleball Performance and Wellness. And letting everyone now know the brand will be AG, Stay Encouraged.
I love that.
And AG is Aaron Gamble. I've accepted that I will have to be the face of the brand.
You're the brand.
You got it.
Yep. Yeah,
I've always avoided that because I feel humbled to even be able to transition careers and have always had a way and always had clients and had my health and happiness. But I've always wanted to build other people up. And not that I don't want to do that, but I think people sometimes they don't want that spotlight on them, They want to be a part of it, but they don't want that spotlight. And I think the brand can lose ground if someone doesn't step to the forefront.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So I'm in a situation where I just hope to lead humbly and see where it goes.
How are you able to infuse in all of your types of clients, whether it's the pickleball students or the personal trainer clients, infuse the other aspects beyond the physical, so the mental side of you, the spiritual side of you, so that they can benefit from those aspects?
I would say that I'm good at letting people know when they meet me. I'm a holistic lifestyle coach as well as a trainer or a pickleball coach. Mm-hmm. But I know that goes over most people's head, And I set the tone that we need to live and practice this life on many different levels. Mm-hmm. It still goes over people's heads. So I'm really good at meeting people where they are. And then as we go along in the journey, whether it's fitness or pickleball, and we reach a roadblock that requires us to have to go outside of that traditional path, and dig a little deeper and figure out why we're not getting results. The biggest thing in fitness is usually nutrition. Everybody is like, okay, whether they like to work out or not, they understand this is what they need to do to get healthier. But then after a while, they're getting stronger, they may be getting better balance or achieving better balance, more flexibility, and we reach a plateau and they become frustrated. And then we have to look at other aspects. And usually the first thing I'll tell people is we can look at 6 different pillars. We can look at nutrition, we can look at hydration, we can look at your movement, but we're exercising now. We can look at your thoughts, which is your stress and management. Yeah. We can look at your breathing, and we can look at your sleep. So those are the 6 pillars that I try to simplify the holistic process by. I'm certified through Paul Checks, which is the HLC Holistic Lifestyle Coaching Program. He's based in San Diego, but he's worldwide. And usually the easiest pillar for people to impact first is hydration. Because I usually ask people, how much water are you drinking? They say, I drink enough water. And my philosophy is that you have to drink at least half your body weight in ounces. Mm-hmm. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you need to drink 50 ounces. You weigh 200 pounds, you need to drink 100 ounces. When we start doing that math, people start to realize that they may not be drinking enough water, And then when we get a little bit more into it, then we start talking about the quality of water. Let's just start drinking enough water first.
Yeah, build the groundwork and then go from there. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how I really infuse it. I set the tone from the beginning, and then I just meet people where they're at. And then when we reach those roadblocks, people start to be a little bit more open to hearing, because no one likes to be stagnant most of the time,
Right. What type of demographic are most of your clients? Like, are they coming from an athletic background, or are you teaching them from scratch? Like,
That's-
where are they in their journey?
That's a great
Who
question.
Who are they?
So when I changed careers in 2008 to get into the health and fitness industry, leaving the nightlife, which is always lucrative if done right, everyone said, Aaron, it's a recession right now. It's 2008.
Right.
It's a recession.
You picked a.
That was-
you
that was
really
guts.
picked the time.
Yes.
That's
That was
gutsy. I
guts.
It's a
love
recession.
that.
So
I
they
love that.
said, I don't know if this is a good decision and business move for you, Aaron. And I said, why? They said, because, first of all, for most people, it costs too much to be healthy. That was their reason. So I doubt that you're going to be able to get people and convince people to work with you during a recession. I said, well, what's your other reason? They said, well, people aren't educated enough to understand the value of health. And I think it's going to be
Until
hard.
it's too late
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly.
Like, oh, maybe I should have paid a little bit more for
Exactly.
groceries. And,
Yes. You know?
It's like
always
neglecting the
reactive.
oil change on the car, and then the engine
100%.
blows up, and then you're
Right.
like, I probably should have been to the garage.
Very
Yeah.
expensive.
Right, exactly. Yep.
And same thing with health. It becomes very expensive.
Right, you start going into the hospital, like those medical
yes.
bills are stacking up now. You,
Right,
you
and
neglect
missed work.
Missed work. You
100%.
neglect your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You suffer. I mean, you're
catches
hitting
up
it
to
now.
you.
Yeah.
So, me, I always like to be strategic in some ways. It's my nature. So I Googled at the time, in 2008, where are the most educated people in the country? And Bethesda Chevy Chase had the highest concentration of higher degrees per capita than anywhere in the country. And that also led to a higher household income. So I said, if I can't help the most educated people who have the resources, this will be a sign that I shouldn't be doing this. Because I just want to always put myself in a situation where I should win, and if I can't win in a situation where I should win, it's kind of a sign that I shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
And,
You wanted that chance.
Yes. So it led me to that area, and it blew up. So I would say that my demographic is a highly educated demographic. And I would say with that, you might think that people who are really smart might not be athletic because they've concentrated so much on the academic stuff. But I will say that depending on where these people come from in the country, sometimes if you come from private schools, it's mandatory for you to play a sport.
Right.
So some people do have these backgrounds. And then I would say with a higher education level, you'll see different types of sports. So I grew up playing basketball and baseball. And some of my clients might have played basketball, baseball, but I would say a lot of people grew up playing golf and tennis. And these are sports that are played at a higher level and they're more fluent sports.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that background, but I always felt like as an athlete, I'm willing to learn any sport. In my competitive nature, I'm willing to do any sport as well. And I would also say that my demographic that I currently serve is also an older demographic. I would say 55 plus. I do have a few younger couples, and I do train one kid. And I've trained kids a lot over the years, but I'm just at a point in my lifestyle where I like working with people that have a little bit more flexibility with their schedule, and that's going to usually be that 55 plus demographic.
Right,
Right,
retirees.
absolutely.
And they appreciate you more, and the turnover is less. Even if you have a young person that's committed to you, they're going to graduate high school and go to college, and you got to find new clients. When I first got into training, I've changed my philosophy. I helped a lot of people in short periods of time, 3 to 6 months, 3 to 5 times a week, just training to just get that transformation. And then they would say, thank you, sail off into the sunset.
Oh, so you worked yourself out of a job.
Yes, which is okay.
Yeah.
But what hurt was when I would see them a year later and they've lost it all.
Oh no.
See, I was okay with getting new clients.
Right.
I was not okay with seeing someone put in all that work financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and then lose it. So now the relationship that I have set the tone for with my clients is this is a lifestyle. Let's think about what we can afford and keep up with
Right.
consistently.
You need to be able to sustain it.
Yeah.
When build off of, you can't jump in and just go from 0 to 100.
Yes.
I mean, like you've got to build base layers
Exactly.
and a solid foundation, and then once you put in a year, and then you put in a year and a half, and then you put in 2 years, you're not going to let anybody take that away from you.
Right.
And I'm not going to let you regress that much under my watch. So I would say I have over 40 clients, and currently the average experience and relationship that people have had with me exceeds over 14 years, my oldest client duration, and the average client has probably been with me for about 8 years.
That's amazing.
That
is a
is-
huge retention rate.
Yes.
That's
It's
amazing.
insane.
That
It's
is, yeah,
insane.
that is.
It's insane, and I'm beyond grateful, and that's what I'm trying to teach. But a lot of people tell me, Aaron, you can't teach that. So I don't know. I would say that I've helped and mentored a lot of people, and so far I've been able to teach people everything as it relates to knowledge, but I haven't been able to teach people, even by leading by example, the relationship dynamic. And I always challenge my coaches and my trainers to learn, but I always tell them, because I want them to get better than me. What do you think is going to make you better than me? And they all say a variety of things and have a variety of answers. And in my mind, I'm not being cocky, but I'm always like, you're a great coach, you're a great trainer, but you're not going to be better than me. And they don't get it. And they say, why do you think that? I said, because I've realized that no one cares how much you know till they know how much you care. I'm going to say that again.
Yeah, say that again.
Please.
No one cares how much you know till they know how much you care. And I tell all my coaches and trainers, I don't know if you out-care. I care so much that I really don't care about money. I've just literally cared about people and my purpose, that money is a byproduct of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm in that place, but that takes a lot of faith, because I can tell you this, even my parents, no one has believed in me to be able to take care of myself and provide at the level that I've been able to do as a trainer and a pickleball coach.
Right,
You know?
yeah, no, that's insane.
I'm living 100% on faith. I'm living a blessed, fruitful life, you know? So I can't turn back now. I'm walking on water.
That
You know?
positive
Amazing.
energy
Yes.
keeps attracting the next positive stage for you, and then the money comes.
It is.
And whatever you're chasing, if you're chasing the money
Yeah.
goes away.
Yes.
I mean, it'll whatever you're chasing,
Yes.
you tend to repel it.
Yes.
And then what you're putting out, you're definitely getting back. So
Yes.
that's amazing to hear.
And I'm very human at times, so don't get me wrong, especially in a world where everyone is trying to consume and hoard. You know, I hate to say it, but that's the world we live in,
Yeah.
because people believe that that's their security. And sometimes it feels that way, that the more resources you have, the more security you have. So sometimes, and then me being competitive, sometimes, you know, I have to really fight that urge to not get caught up into that, you know, and just remind myself and try to be around people that have a similar energy, and really go back into, I don't like to preach a lot, but I do have to just go back into scripture sometimes and just see verses that say, do not worry. Like, you know, if you just do the right thing, God will take care of you, which is, again, hard, but it's been my life. So I have to remind myself, he hasn't failed you before.
Right.
So just stay true to the journey, you know? So that's how I do it.
That's amazing.
Do you have any clients that you've had that have stood out to you as being the most inspiring success story?
Yes, I would say the client that I've had the longest is a woman who actually told me to get into pickleball.
Really?
Oh, wow.
You know, she doesn't probably want anyone to know her age, so I don't know if I can say her name, but she's 87 and she does not look her age, so she just maneuvers under the radar. But again, she's a woman that plays tennis. She also plays pickleball, and she's the one that told me to get into pickleball, you know, a few years ago. and I finally did it. I give her credit because she's been working with me since she was in her early 70s. She's still lifting over 20-pound dumbbells when we work out.
Wow.
She's very durable. She's lean. She's very flexible, and she makes me a believer, a true believer in taking care of yourself. I mean, she does get in her own way because she says, Aaron, I think I'm too old to still be doing push-ups, you know? I'm like, why put yourself in that box? If you can do them, let's do them.
Yeah.
And she does quality push-ups. You know, she does quality sit-ups with medicine balls. You know, she can, you know, we're using the TRX. She's pulling her body weight up. And she has great balance. And she really inspires me because I just believe that you don't have to go backwards. She's just at the top because I do train clients even older than that. But I have some of them, I didn't start training till they were already 85. And yes, they're in better shape at 90 than they were at 85. But she's in better shape than she was at 71.
That's amazing.
And she wasn't in bad shape then,
Wow.
but she's like in really good shape. So that's the person that probably inspires me. In 14 plus years of training her, I only saw her take a dip once when her husband died, right around the pandemic. And that was only because she wanted to be by his side. So she said, for the first time, I'm gonna give a break until he passes. And that was about a month and a half. And I could tell that was the longest she went without training. And she came back not as strong, not as fit. And after a couple of months, she got it back. And it was like, I didn't put pressure on her because I knew she was grieving.
Right.
But it's great to see her functioning at this high level. And she has 3 kids and a lot of grandchildren. And it's also a great situation to see how happy they are for her and with me.
I was going to say, they must appreciate you so much because they have her living so much longer.
Yes.
And not just living, but really living and embracing her life.
Yes.
That you're helping to provide for her.
None of her kids live in the area. So she has kids in Seattle, Washington, in Portland, Oregon, in New Jersey, Princeton, New Jersey. And they come here, but mostly she visits them in her late 80s.
She's
That's
active,
amazing.
So,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
so-
independent,
Yes.
active.
So they are beyond grateful. I know what it's like to have elderly parents. They're definitely not as fit as she is. They're not as invested, but their minds are still sharp and they're in good spirits. That's where I get some of this energy from. You know, they're really great people, but I know the stress that having elderly parents can put on people. So I try to take care of all my clients so that the children can enjoy their lives.
Right.
You
That's
know?
amazing.
And I also pay it forward, hoping that there will be someone that does that for me. You know? So I hope to be independent to my last breath.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I believe it's possible.
Right, absolutely.
I think you guys are going to be on that same.
This has been amazing. I mean, we can't thank you enough for having us out this morning to drill and to
Yes.
play. This conversation's been phenomenal. Again, I can't stress it enough. Just from your social media presence and getting to meet you today, you know, you definitely inspire everybody that I've seen here. Again,
Awesome.
people's faces are lighting up,
Yes.
and you know, you inspire me from just the content that you post on Facebook.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just feel so positive when I see your videos pop up. I stop what I'm
awesome.
doing, I watch them.
That
and
means a lot.
Yeah, that energy is amazing. It's
Yeah.
a great way to start the day. And I can't wait to see what happens with your business with the 2 facets
Yes.
merging together and see how that expands. And we'll come down and
That'll be awesome.
participate in some of your events that you have.
Yes.
And
Yeah, hopefully we can get some workouts in.
Yeah,
I
work
would love
out
to do
together.
that.
That's the next thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
showcase-
very dedicated to working out
Yeah.
to help us be better pickleball players, like how
Yes.
you said you want all your clients to have a sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to share that experience with you.
That would, we would love
Absolutely.
it. We would love it. So,
Yeah.
and we'll link all your socials below. We'll
Okay.
tag you and everything. We want to again make sure like the energy you're putting out. Yeah, you need to be showcased
That
on a
means a
much
lot.
higher platform.